After my wildly successful ice spear run, and since the DLC brought a flame spear, let's see if fire can beat ice. If you'd like to watch me torture myself like this, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. This whole challenge run basically revolves around the Ash of War Flame Spear, which is usually dropped by this Fire Knight in Shadow Keep. But for the sake of this challenge run, I start with it to use it for the whole run. Starting out in Limgrave, I run around gathering things for the initial setup, including a great sword from this carriage. I rest at the Grace, where a maiden appears, gifting me Torrent. I whistle, he appears, and off we go. Racing up Storm Hill into the shack, yoinking the Stone Sword key, then I grab the Strength Knot Crystal Tear and hop down. Using the previously grabbed Stone Sword key, I open the pathway down to the Green Turtle Tally, which increases my stamina recovery speed. The initial setup involves so much running around that a stamina boost might be handy for these legs. I grab the Flask of Wondrous Physic and the Sacred Tear, then I head to Dragonburrow. I run past the Knight's Cave and hide in the corner till he swan dives off the cliff. Thank you for the runes, boyo. Next up is Fort Farrot and some sneaking around to get half of the Dectus Medallion and Radagon's Sword Seal, which increases my stats by 5. The Maiden's back and she teleports me to Round Table. I purchase a longsword and I upgrade it, placing the Ash of War onto it. Ooh, spicy, but it does take a lot of FP per strike, so I need to level up my mind ASAP. In the meantime, I pick up another Sacred Tear, then some rooftop parkour down into Celia, and I run through Caelid, lighting some graces for later. Then it's back to the third church, and I head south towards the Minor Erdtree, grabbing these tears, running past the enemies in Fort Farrot. I shimmy my butt up the ladder and grab the second half of the Dectus Medallion, and get into my first fight. He keeps cornering me into the wall, but I get the upper hand, and he's still burning as he falls. This bad boy can do some damage. Okay. Up next is Liurnia. I hop into this church for the Sacred Tear and continue on my journey to the War Portal to do some grave robbing. Ooh, Academy Key. Mine now. Then I take this lift down into the Crystal Tunnels to collect some upgrade materials for the weapon. Thank you, Mr. Spams-a-lot, for my first death of the run. Some more looting later. I take another lift down and step into my first fog. Wow, 4 damage per hit? This should be fun. I'm out of FP, so I can't use my flames. So let's end this here. That didn't really go so well. I need some upgrades. Stat. So off to the blacksmith we go, upgrading the sword to +2, and tossing a bunch of levels into Fate, hoping to fix my issues. Yep, the damage should have definitely increased, so let's try facing Margit. Okay, 111 damage. Still not great, so I need to get beefed some more before I face him. Returning to Stormhill, I pick up the golden seed from the shack and then run towards Alexander. And with 2 strong swings, he pops out. I thought I was here to help. Give me that shard. This stallion improves skill attacks by 10%. And look, Pumpkin Man has volunteered for a damage test. And as long as I don't hit his head, I can do a decent amount of damage. And with a few fiercey spears, he drops. So I storm ahead and purchase the last few smithing stones needed to upgrade the weapon. Then it's back to Round Table to upgrade the weapon to +5. When I go back to face the Crystalian, my flames burn through his health, holding back my attacks till I find the right moment to strike, and it shatters to dust, leaving me with the smithing stone bell bearing. I upgrade my weapon to +8, then it's time to face Margit. 232 damage? Oh yeah, we're good. With my damage being actually decent, all I need to do is keep my distance and charge up my attacks. When I'm out of FP, I chug down my blue Gatorade and I reposition myself till he goes up in flames and he drops the first tally pouch. This also gives me access to the castle, so let's go on a little adventure, dodging the arrows and cooking up some birds. Then it's back to Liurnia to chat with Raya, who tells me to grab her necklace from the Boiled Prawn Shack and I return it to her. With the invitation to Volcano Manor stored in my pockets, I head to Stormhill to hop down the cliff and charge up my flames for Horsey Boy. The tracking on this weapon is not amazing, so it takes longer than I'd like, but he goes down and I grab the Golden Vow Ash of War from his corpse. Warping back to Round Table, I purchase a dagger and place the golden vow onto it to buff myself. Then I go back to Liurnia and hop across rooftops like it's Assassin's Creed, just to get to the portal and warp out of there, arriving at these ruins, where I make my way to Belem Highway to collect another sacred tear. And after dealing some madness, I finally make it up the hill. I try my luck with running past him, but his spear gets me in the back and head into the Church of Inhibition for the safety grace. Now I can deal with you, Viking boy. Mid-fight, I pick up another sacred tear. He strikes me with madness, and it becomes a game of cat and mouse outside the church. He gives me one more mighty yell, and it's too much for my head to handle. See, this is why we take the safety grace. Okay, back to it. Heading back to Belem Highway, I run across to the minor earth tree to fight my first avatar. I mean, it's a tree, and I shoot flames. Should be easy breezy, right? But apparently, I forgot how to dodge, and I got too greedy. Let's try that again. And this time, I managed to dodge and burn it down to the ground, giving me the magic, lightning, and holy shrouding cracked ears. Basically, not the ones I needed. So I'll need to hunt down another avatar. Putting a pin in it for now, I head to Limgrave and run across to the Weeping Peninsula. I take a leap of faith onto the narrow pole of the bridge, which somehow saves me from dying. Grabbing the Faith Not Crystal Tear, and I run up to the Church of Pilgrimage, resting at the grace and mixing my strong juice. Let's test out this newly found strength. And who better to test it out on than another avatar. A charged hit pre-chug deals a whopping 378 damage. I chug down my flask and charge up, only to deal 319 damage? How on earth is it possible that my boosts weakened my attack? My projectiles by themselves aren't doing much, so I decide to see whether using the full range of attack, weapon included, will do any better. And oh boy, that damage. It drops the Opaline Bubble Tear and the Crimson Burst Crystal Tear. Still not what I'm looking for. So I head back to Belem Highway to activate the Grand Lift, which takes me up to Atlas. Raya's waiting for me. I take her hand and spawn it at Volcano Manor. I get given the drawing room key, then head up this path for the Golden Seed. Nothing else to do here for now, so I return to Atlas and run into the Lux Runes, going down below to Gillica. My flames are only doing 300 damage, so I move in close, doubling up my damage by using melee as well. My hits now deal around 1k damage, but as much as I can hit her, she can also hit me. So it's a battle of one outlasting the other, and I'm the one with heals, so I back up, chug my jumbo juice, and then I strike, and she combusts, giving me access to the chest and the ritual sword tally, which raises attack power by 10% when I'm at max HP. It might be handy at a later point, but definitely not for now. Back on top, I spend some time collecting tears and golden seeds, and get somewhat lost looking for the icon shield. This does put me up to medium load, which is not the best, but we'll see how it goes. Making my way past the duo sentinels, I find myself in the capital outskirts, where I run up the hill, past all the broken jars, into the minor Earth Tree Church to pick up the golden Earth Tree seal. Then I sprint down all the way into the mine shaft, rolling around the wall to open up the sealed pathway, prying open the chest to grab another smithing stone bell bearing, and taking it immediately to upgrade my weapons. I warp back to Dragonbarrow to face off against the Putrid Avatar. This one is definitely the most annoying one to fight, since it keeps double whamming me with Scarlet Rot and Golden Spears. But I eventually manage to get its attack pattern down, rolling behind it every time it tries to slam down on me, staggering it, which gives me the opportunity to get some bonus damage in. A few more charge attacks, and a close call later, the tree is burned to a crisp, and it drops the stone barb cracked ear. How do I keep getting this wrong? At least I can upgrade myself a bit. It wasn't all for nothing. Right, let's see if this one is what I needed. At least it's much weaker, and it only takes one attempt to disintegrate. And it does finally drop the flame shrouding cracked tear. Returning to Atlas, mixing up the flame tear into my go-go juice, I run up to Mount Gilmere and into Fort Lade. Charging up my attack, Flame Boy spots me and begins raining down an inferno. The damage is minimal, but it's getting there. He does run up to me and his hammer packs a punch. But by then, it's too late, and the only thing that's left of him is his hammer. I breach the fort, making my way up the stairs, and I hop over the wall to grab the Fire Scorpion Charm, which will increase my fire damage by 12%. Then I head back to Stormvale, equipping the new tally and leveling myself up, before I step into the fog to deal with Godric. At around 400 damage per charged attack, I keep my distance and eat away at his health, When he comes close, I charge up and stab him, getting almost triple the damage. Then he begins to phase change. As he cooks in my flames, his dragon head spawns in, and his flames burn, but mine burn hotter. All I need to do is stay far away. Using the high ground, I charge and fire, and he goes down. So I take a quick trip back to the boy prawn shack, this time running west towards Vare, who gives me the festering finger. What a thoughtful gift. Following his questline, I head to the right blood runes, dipping a pinky in the bloodstain and invading Magnus, who is so happy to see me he sprints at me. Surprisingly, he's very weak to flames, but I'm also not immune to his damage. And at one hit away from death, I accidentally chuck down an FP flask rather than a healing one. All it takes is one more charge stab, and I'm teleported back to my world. Popping back to Liurnia, I step through the gates, light the grace, then ride the lift to the academy. I make my way to the lift and hop on, taking it all the way to the top. Time to sprint past the academics and into this fog to see Best Boy. His aggressiveness means he's rarely in one spot long enough for me to charge up my attack and land the hit, but I lunge at him with my flames when he's close. I'm out of heals and I narrowly dodge a headbutt when I stab upwards and impale him. That was way too close. Back outside, I grab the stone key from the fountain, leap to the arch, and dodge the massive bowling ball. Moongrim follows me onto the lift, gets one swing in, then jumps back. Falling off? Wait. He didn't die? I didn't get anything, so I guess he survived that. Oh well, at least this next part should be easy. Standing in the middle puts me in the range of the singers, so I silence them and Renala drops. 3 charged stabs and she's back up. Another round of singers, 3 more stabs, then we're warped to phase 2. Okay, that was easy. Never mind. Alright, let's try that again. You win for now, Renala, but I'll be back. Moving on to Caelid, I use the portal to get to Red Main Castle and start the festival. Then I take the lift down to the beach and port myself to Radon. This was also not very successful. Guess I need to beef myself up a bit more. So I head back to Atlas, running down the cliff to this Evergol to fight Godfrey. This fight involves a lot of rolling around and a few missed hits. The hits that land are not doing nearly as much damage as I'd like them to, but the fight is definitely doable. Tedious, but doable. When he gets up close, I stab. Then he swings, landing right on top of me. Bad move, Muddy. Thank you for the icon. This icon increases the damage I do by charge skills. Time to level up at the round table. I should be able to deal with Renala now, right? Guess not. So instead, I pop over to Caelid to get into the crystal tunnel for runes and upgrade materials. With web slingers and miners at my back, I push a gate open and chuck my jumbo juice as I face down the falling star beast. And holy moly, look at that damage. This is going to be easy. Try. He can bleed you? Fair enough, look at his tail. Doesn't matter anyways, and he drops a bunch of useful materials, so I warp back to round table and put them into good use. Looks like I only need a little bit more for the next upgrade. So let's go back to Atlas tunnels. There's one. Now to find some more. There they are. Think that should be all of them. What's behind this door? Oh, hello, duo. Sweet, a double hit. Now with these boys, I have to kebab them because my flames are just not enough. I should also really learn a thing or two from this guy's spear wielding. He's so quick with it, like damn. And since he's the only one causing pain, I focus on taking him out first. Like, look at the other guy. It just wants to show me its rings. Bye, sir. I said goodbye. Now this one wants to show off his moves, but my flame sphere still has a longer reach, so it crumbles into the mist. And now I've got a halo stuck in my shield. Guess I'm holy now. Nice, the sword is a solid 15. So let's go have some fun. I have shifted into a matador. Ole ole. Okay, never mind. At least he's not tanking my fire damage, so that's good. Even a pile of rocks to the face and a blood loss won't stop me from cooking him. I keep a distance as I fling fire shots at him. Then I'm a matador once more till he pauses. His mistake. Thank you for the upgrades, my boy. So now I head back to Renala to try that out again. Slicing up the singers till she drops. Ooh, we're doing a lot more damage now, okay. I miss my third strike and up she goes. So I'm back to hunting down the students. Ouch! Stop throwing books at me. Phase 2, let's do this. There we go. Some good damage. I need to avoid her homing beams. Her wolves come out to play, but I'm too fast on my twig legs. Then I charge up and she takes the hit. The Bloodhound comes out to play, leaping at me, but I dodge and run around, finishing off another shot. She summons her dragon next and it's fire on fire, but its flames can't reach me. Oh, mine can't reach him either. Then it's back to puppies, so I run in closer to her, chipping away at her health, and with only a sliver of health left, she dodges my flames. Flinging glintstones at me, I zero in and fire one last flame sphere, and she fades into the moonlight. And with that, I can go collect another tally pouch. Let's head back out to the outskirts to bully DTS. Okay, I can't outright bully him because he can destroy me with practically one hit. So I have to change tactics. Call it the lactate special, the way I cheese this fight. Plan is simple. Get some hits in, then flee like my life depends on it. And even that is sometimes risky, but I keep going back, bringing this game of hide and seek to an end, giving me access to the capital. Then I make my way around Lindell by jumping across some rooftops. And I sneak into this room to grab our hero's rune. At least he has a short leash, and he can't get me up here. Not only am I completely stuck under the ledge, the minute I'm free, he squishes me like a bug. My next attempt goes much better, setting him aflame, then taking shelter in the chapel. Praying his darts don't get me in here. It looks cowardly, but feels tactical. Then it's time to climb a very dead dragon. A ladder and some stairs, where I get tag teamed by lightning and an ambush, till I rest at the grace. After some tree climbing, which can't be too comfortable on my bare feet, I miss my jump onto the ledge. Shh, nobody saw that. Anyways, gold bar is up next, and damage wise we're good. Dodge wise, still needs a little work, especially since he's constantly trying to split me in half, but I use his arena, hiding behind pillars, as he advances and tries to dodge my flames. And I deliver the killing blow, making him drop the last tally pouch. Back outside, I climb another tree trunk, making my way to the next battlefield. This time to the Omen King. I hold back, testing out the limits of my range. It's got way more reach than I thought, even though he tends to fly and swipe at me, keeping me on the move. Unfortunately, he's also very good at reading my attacks and dodging my flames. And he only seems to do his jump attacks when I'm out of juice, so I can't punish him either. But I do manage to dodge his acrobatic moves, even as he lands on me, then jumps away. And with one final thrust, Morgoth's reign goes up in smoke. As I rest at the grace, Melina appears and hands me the robe medallion, which gives me access to mountaintops. But that's for later. For now, let's head back to Radahn, now that I'm more beefed up. It still took a few attempts to get it right, mostly because of his gravity attacks. But on my third attempt, I hopped up on Torrent, running away from his attacks. He goes up spiraling in the air, and I ride away. Then as he stuns himself, I fire at him, he screams, and he slams, giving me the perfect window to take him down. Then I make my way down to Nokron, hopping down the ledges and roofs, till I get to the fog. I step in and the Mimic Tear shifts into my twin. It's my first NPC fight this run, so I'm curious how this will go. Never mind! Okay, that was stupidly easy. Now that that's done, it's time to light some pillars. Wait a second, I recognize that fur. Hi, Big Red. Ow. Okay, bye, Big Red. And that should be the last pillar. I touch the bones, and they teleport me to the Ancestral Spirit. This fight was pretty easy, since my flames do quite a lot of damage to it. But it sure loves to teleport as I charge up my attacks, making me waste FP. I so thought I killed it there. I mean, look at its health. No! Yo! But why? Okay. Thank you. After that, I head to Weeping, hopping up the springs to collect the Great Turtle Shell Shield. And I head to Liurnia. Equipping it puts me back into light load. Look at me go. Using my newly acquired speed, I run across Carrion Manor, past all the blue shells spawning in to take me down, and I head up the lift. These guards are doing a bang up job. I barely got out there alive, but I've made it up to the next area and Ghost Loretta spawns in. Much like the spirit, she doesn't do so well against my flames. I guess ghosts are very flammable. Some acrobatic rolls and a few charge attacks and Ghosty vanishes. Base game bosses are basically nothing in this stage. Heading up to Rani's Rise, I head up to speak to her, then down to Sylvis. And last but not least, I go up to my boy EG. With the trio done, I return to Nokron. This place is just one dangerous ledge after another. Phew, an actual building, safe at last. Except for all these mimic tears. But the blobs are too slow, so I run up the stairs and open the chest, grabbing the Finger Slayer blade for Ranni and heading back to see her. In return, she gives me the inverted statue. Holding onto that for later, I go back to Liurnia to continue Vara's quest. I'm now a qualified doctor, so let's go collect some blood. Warping to the Church of Inhibition, and this lady donates hers. Then I make my way to the study hall to place down the inverted statue. Jumping onto the ceiling, then taking a sharp left, because apparently it's shorter. Another dangerous ledge, then taking a shortcut onto the chandelier almost goes very wrong. But hey, it almost did. I'm totally fine. Taking the lift down, I shove this door open and I'm out, breathing fresh air. I dodge past Big Boy, then struggle with the door to the Divine Tower. Another lift going up, then some stairs, where I find Ranni's body looking a bit more crispy than when I saw her last. Then I'm back at Ranni's Rise, heading northeast to Rena's Rise. Using the portal to go to Ainsel River, I grab the Grace for later, then I head to the Fourth Church of Marika, hopping onto Torrent, and I run up the hill to the Tower of Return. Climbing the ladder to the top, I open the chest and get whacked as I'm transported to Lanedale. Oh look, another chest. This one has the Blessed Dew tally, which passively restores HP. Teleporting to Volcano Manor, I open this door, then roll to open the secret pathway. Running through the dark to the outside, I grab the Grace and open the door. Then I remember that I haven't spoken to Kale, so I head back to the church and speak to the little Santa Man to buy some cracked pots and the crafting kit. Now I can make my sleep pots, and I'm ready to head back to Volcano Manor for some more rooftop parkour as I dodge the Serpent Man. Then I hop down into the prison cell to grab the Earth Tree seal. On my way out, I got stuck, and the Omen Killer managed to get a couple of hits in, but I rolled till I got free and sprinted away. Is this just Door Simulator at this point? Oh look, lava. Let's hop down. What's the worst that can happen? Oh no. This could end up being really bad for me. No! Yep. I'm alive. Back up we go. Dude, you are way aggressive. Oh, oh yeah, you're immune to fire. Well, that's my cue to leave. See you later. Let's open this bridge, stepping into the candlelit hole as Big Boy spawns in. He gets a hit in, but then my sleep pot knocks him out. My attacks don't do as much damage as I would have liked, so it's going to be a rough one. At least I stagger him, but then he rolls over me, flattening me out. I throw a sleep pot instead of drinking a flask by mistake. And that ends that attempt. My next attempts were equally as painful, so I changed plans, returning to Liurnia and crossing the lake to Vare, who rips my finger off and hands it back to me along with the Pureblood Knight's medal, which gives me access to Moog. Running around in his palace, going through the darkness till I get to the light on the other side. But before I deal with that headache, let's head back to the round table. Going to Rogier, who's sleeping, and a cheeky quit out makes him drop the Spellblade set. Heading back to the mausoleum, I decide to try an attempt without the set to see how much damage I do. The answer? Not much. Attack does 271 damage. That is... Then I put on the armor set to see the difference. Wait. Why am I doing less damage? Why am I doing less damage? I don't know. I step up to him, hitting him directly with the flame spear and the physical damage, and it still barely nicks his health. Basically, I was getting nowhere. I definitely need some upgrades, so I head back to Mount Gilmer, jumping over boulders to get to the Corpse Stench Shack, to grab the Golden Vow. Then I backtrack to get to the ladder, to grab a Somber 6, continuing up the mountain, up another ladder. Now it's Ladder Simulator. Finally reaching somewhat of a peak, I run across the bridge and hop up a spring to the top of the mountain, where a Falling Star Beast awaits. He tries everything from charging at me to creating stalagmites, but I'm too fast. Also, because I leveled up, I can now do 8 consecutive charge attacks before running out of FP, which is great, and much like the smaller version of him, he's not very good with flames, and I easily take him down, giving me more upgrade materials. Then I warp back to the base of the mountain, running through the canyon, past the magma worm which is swimming in lava, so I doubt my fire will affect him. Then going to taunt a bear, luring it to break the statue for another smithing 6. Time to return to Round Table to upgrade the sword some more, getting it all the way up to plus 20. I decide to go back to Moog to see if that changed anything, It did not? Okay, it did, but barely. Honestly, at this point, I was a bit stumped. To progress into the DLC, I need to kill him, and he was feeling very unbeatable. So I returned to the basics, back to Limgrave, stopping at the Summon Water Village to take down the Mariner, and wow, once again, it proves my theory that ghosts are weak to fire, as I exorcise him in a second. I loot the Death Root, and I'm off to the Third Church of Marika, where I use the portal to get me the Dragon Burrow, opening the door to the Bestial Sanctum. I hand over the Death Root and receive the Claw Mark Seal and an eyeball. My pockets must smell divine by now. Warping to Atlas, and I climb up to another pond to fight the Marina again. This time he fights back, slamming the boat on me, but I bounce back and take him down, collecting another Death Root, which I hand over to the clergyman, but he still doesn't give me what I would need. So somehow, I need to find a third one. Back to the Boil Prawn Shack, sprinting off on a journey to find a pond. There he is. Hey, he's warping. Sir, you can't dive your boat here. Never mind, I guess he can. Okay, there. That should be the loss I need to defeat. Let's go give this to the clergyman. Yes, thank you. Bestial Vitality. This should help with the healing. I rested the Grace, memorizing the Golden Vow and Vitality incants, hoping to beef myself up. And I head back to Moog. His 80% resistance to fire makes it nigh impossible to defeat him solely with pure fire damage, unless you have hours to perfect the craft. Plus, I have a finite amount of FP. If I was able to get the Blessed Blue due tally before this fight, then it becomes a bit more doable. However, that's locked behind him. Pretty convenient, am I right? So I switch tactics, using physical damage along with the Flame Spear, playing around my flasks and my physic to fit with the new plan. I head back in. There definitely was an improvement, especially since now I can stagger him. So I kept trying. Yeah, okay. Oh. Okay, that one was fully on me. No, I'm dead. Okay, I'm not dead. Oh. I'm dead now. Yeah. The bleed thing kept just ticking up. I was in the wrong place. Yeah. Some attempts went much better than others, and those attempts were crucial for my sanity. After a roller coaster of emotions, I took a break and went to Stormhill to explore the Death Touch catacombs and collect the Uchi Katana for its high bleed percentage. I pulled the lever, then it's back to Moog once again. I still died, like a lot. Maybe even enough to justify a montage. Cue the dramatic music. And then, finally, this happened. Boom, baby. Okay. What? Excuse you? What did he do there is the question I have. Okay. Boom. There's my bleed. Okay, we're just going to do Flame Spear now. Yo! Flame Spear! That took way too long. But I finally have access to the DLC, so let's grab onto this thingy to get to the graveside plane. Then head all the way down the hill to the church to start our collection of Skadoodoo fragments. After a whole cardio workout, I reach the Church of Benediction and finally collect the Blessed Blue Utali, which passively restores HP, and the Oathseeker armor set from the Cliff's Edge. Torrent must have legs of steel after all this running. But I finally made it to the springs. And up we go. And once more, and up we go. Up into Fort Reprimand, then down into its cellar to grab Marika's rune. I try sneaking past the Omen Killer. Guess I need to improve on my stealth skills. Okay, let's try to run past this dude. Safety Grace. What? How long is your leash? At least now I can move on from this area. Heading towards more runes, then to the Church of the Crusade to collect a few more Skadoodle fragments. Up the lift we go. Then it's time to face the first DLC boss, the Golden Hippo. My flames do decent damage, but so does it. It's definitely a doable fight, I just need to time my dodges better. I also need to add damage negation to my physic, so I'm able to actually take more than 2 hits. But after a few more attempts, it's time to take a break. So I go back to Mort Ruins, going down into the caves to climb the longest ladder ever till I get to Bonnie Village. From there, I hop the gap and pick up the Oh Mother gesture for later on. Don't mind me, just passing through, all the way to the Cathedral of Manus. Then back out we go, through the tunnel and out to the church district. Oh look, more rooftop parkour. A little hop down, pixels away from death, and another close call onto the statue to collect the Skadoodle fragment. Let's drain the water, then down we go. Okay, Grace lit. Let's get out of here and take the lift up into the specimen storehouse. At least I can one-tap all these dudes, except for these flame boys, who tend to fight fire with fire. Literally. But I spend some time farming them till I get their greatsword. This should be the best weapon for this build, since it scales with strength, dex, and fate. Sadly, I'm not strong enough to wield this bad boy yet. I need to get more swole. So I sit at the Grace and inject some runes into my biceps. Then I head back to the Graveside Plains to collect some more upgrade stones from the ruined forges. Collecting stones as lava blobs try to drop onto my head. Oh hello Gollum. I am curious to see if I do any damage. Oh no I do not. So I should avoid all of you. Got it. A quick hop onto the pillar, then I'm sprinting up past the blobs, and a jump off to the right gets me to the altar. Get the ancient dragon smithing stone, warp to Mort Ruins to find the next forge. I grabbed some smithing stones, then yank a lever. This forge is even more of a maze than the last one, so I spend some time running around, trying not to miss anything, as the blobs keep sniping me. But I finally make it to the lever, give it a strong pull, and then I ride the pillar up to the next altar, and another ancient smithing stone. Heading back to Round Table with all my goodies, I hand my new sword to the blacksmith. Sadly, I'm a broke boy and can only get it to +4. Warping to Lanedale, using my big muscles to shove open this door, going up, and then down into the Forbidden Lands. Then heading straight to the Grand Lift, and up to the mountaintops. Jumping into the more runes, I head on the ground to collect the smithing stone bell bearing from the chest. Then I run across the pillars, only to get turned into a frozen kebab. Okay, I guess I need to run through all of this again. Then I give this golem a rude awakening, and try to lure him to break the statue. If only he'd stop moonwalking. Focus, buddy. I need you to swing a little bit closer, or that. That works. Guess I deserve that one a little bit. Switching to the greatsword and purchasing the last few stones I need from the husks. Okay dude, work your magic. Damn, +20? Now we're talking. So let's head to Nokron, then it's time to go test this bad boy out. Hopping down into the Sophria Aqueducts and heading to the Valiant Gargoyles, who can apparently dodge my flames, but up close, they're not so slick. And I easily get it down to half health. The twin blade drops in, but I'm locked on to the first one. Fling the poison and firing off one last shot, and it's down. Second one is not as smooth, and I take some hits before I've even touched it. Backing up, firing shots, and letting it come close. And when it's close, I hit it hard. Then, as it's right above me, I send 2 flame spears up, and just like that, dead by fiercey colonoscopy. Heading over to take a nap in the coffin, which takes me down to the deep root depths. Run across a fallen tree, and up another, and then run into the battle with fierce champs. Oh yeah, let's go. Oh. Okay. Woo! Okay, I need to heal. trying my best to double hit. Oh, there we go. That's a double hit right there. Who needs a proton pack when you have fire spears? Then it's back to Flame Peak to deal with the next headache, aka the fire giant. I beeline to his ankles. I stay close, sending flame spears into his Achilles, getting a stagger before he rolls away. Then I get a stagger, and he goes into phase 2. It starts raining fireballs, but my flames are more direct. It's a long, drawn-out fight, especially since he keeps rolling away from me. But I keep running at him, charging my flames at his thighs, his calves, and his heels, till there's nothing but ash. Then I race up the chain to the forge, resting at the grace, and grabbing Melena's hand, waking up to a new world. So I make my way through the destroyed place, heading in to see Blobby and Stabby, which didn't really go well. But after a couple of attempts, the sleep pots land perfectly between them and they both go nighty-night. Perfect start. Then I start with Big Boy, staggering him twice, and it's KO. Then it's Tall Boy's turn. His hitbox is smaller, but he's still easily staggered. Then he phase changes all of a sudden, and I back up, taking him out as he rushes at me. Big Boy comes out to play again. I throw a pot, knocking him out. Charging up my flames, he tries to flatten me, but gets stuck behind a pillar. Thank you, map design. In the final stretch, my sleep pot whiffs. Guess we're doing this the hard way. No! Haha! That worked! Returning to the Graveside Plain, heading up the ladder into Castle Ensis, opening the gate, and another one. As I make my way to the other tower, up the stairs and the lift, then stepping into the fog to face Relana. Now she's a pain, since she can read my attacks and dodge them, but up close she can't, just like the Valiant Gargoyles. So I use that to my advantage, keeping at distance and baiting her to come at me, only to charge up my sword and hit her hard. Rinse and repeat till she phase changes. Phase 2 is all about the pixel perfect dodges and timing my attacks. She barely gives me a window to attack since she's so aggressive. Then after a final thrust, she's engulfed. First DLC boss has been taken down. Then I hop down the slabs to collect two-headed turtle tally, which greatly increases stamina recovery. Time to head back to Shadowkeep to take another shot at the golden hippo. And this time, my flames are burning through its health, and as it phase changes, summoning spikes and flinging them out at me. I'm doing enough damage to take it out. All I need to do is dodge and tank its damage. It launches at me, ready to roll over me, but I snipe it out of the air, and just like that, it drops. Which means I can now get to the other side of Shadowkeep, shoving open the door, then backtracking, taking a leap down to the edge below, and sliding down the ladder. A little roly-poly into the wall to open up the hidden path to another coffin. Guess it's time for another nap. Down into Skadoodle Altis, just in time before getting violated by some Mothman. Okay, let's move on from that by leaping down a cliff and running straight into the Eastern Nameless Mausoleum. I enter the fog to Rakshasa. On one hand, she's a ghost, so this should be easy, except she's also very quick on her feet, and with her katana, she slices and dices me again and again. Yeah, there we go. I went in. By the time I was able to recover away from her, she was like, wee. Taking a mental break from that for now, I head to the waterfall and hop down the slabs to sneak up to the hippos, and very quickly I realize that it's just as annoying as the golden boy. But I manage to cut it down and head to the next one, giving it the same swift treatment. Some more cliff jumping to get to the Darklight Catacombs, and I take the lift down for some running around in the dark till I see the light, till I get to the fog and enter to see Jory. This fight has me running around the arena till he stops summoning his magic, and I attack. The flames take a decent chunk of his health before he teleports, and I give chase. With his back against the wall, he takes hit after hit. Then he zaps away again. Ignoring his summons, I focus my attack solely on him, and no matter how many spirits he summons between us, they can't stop me. Returning to the church district, I open this door and take the lift down into the caves, racing across the bridge to the Skadoodoo prick. But since he's weak against fire, this should be a quick one. First phase is over in 2 hits. Second phase, I take a few hits, but unlike him, I can tank them. Time for the last phase, which is by far the best phase, since his explosions keep knocking him out, making it the best time to get some hits in, and finally take him out. Then I go to the storehouse, climb up the ladder and the stairs to get to the lift, heading up and walking across the beams to take the shortcut, then another lift, this time going down. Oh mother, please let me in. Skadoo view. I'll be back, but first I have Commander Stabby Stomps to deal with. Gaius, a pain as always, but at least my charge attacks also cause pain, and when he goes for his plunge, I zero in on him, leaving him with a quarter of his health, then I stagger him, and lunge with one last flame. Boom, baby. Now I can collect some Skadoo fragments from the chalice. Back at the Deep Root Depths, I woke up to Fia, asking her to hold me. After I rest at the Grace, I find her asleep, so I touch her shoulder and enter her dreams. Well, more like a nightmare, since Fortisax shows up, especially since he's slightly resistant to fire. But by sticking to his blind spots, running behind his legs, and firing, his lightning attacks almost kill me, but I get back up, and I'm back at it again. Come on! Come on, Forty! Baba Sax! Now that we're done with this one, might as well go for the other one. So I head back to Faramazula and start the long hike. My legs must be godly. Like, geez, look at these drops. And after that, I deserve a nap. His attacks cause more damage than Fortisax, but I use the same system, sticking to his tail and firing away. And I get a stagger, draining more of his health before he flies off. He slams down on top of me. Then it's time for the laser show. I run at him, charge up my flames, and send him to see his buddy, Fortisax. Back on the outside, I run up the crumbling steps and the hill, right into another boss. The clergyman is aggressive, but the pillars in the arena are a blessing from America. Then it's time for Malekith. His spinning blade attacks are easy to read, and I charge my attacks as he prowls at me. No you don't. No you do not, buddy. Zoop. And with one final flame strike, he fades away. So I enter Leyndell, grabbing the Grace, then make my way to Ainsel River and into Nostella. Time to get my steps in. Finally a break for my legs. Going deep down into the belly of the beast, aka the Lake of Rot. Running for my life across the river, then hopping down ledges into the Grand Cloister. Then heading to another coffin. Nap time once again. Unlike the dragons, and much like my own, the natural born weakness is his jawline. So I stand right in front of him, sending spears into his skull. He flies up, and I wait for him to land. Getting up close again, he warps and starts producing nebulas. But when he chills, I charge in and set him ablaze. Returning to a familiar stomping grounds, I head to the village of Albinorix to speak with Albus, collecting the first half of the Halif Tree Medallion. Then I go back to Leyndell and up the lift to go see Mr. Yapsalot. Yo, no! Hey, never mind. Well, that was easy. Back to tree climbing, I guess. Then I entered the next fog to face Godfrey, the grabby lord. My flames were not doing a lot of damage. Is he resistant to this thing or something? But it's all about dancing around each other. And butt stabs, getting a stagger, which sends him into phase 2, where his meaty hands come out. His second phase is all about distance, dodging his grabby hands and trusting my flames. He stomps on me and throws me down, but one final flame spear burns him down. First try, let's go. Now that that's done, let's go back to Mountaintops to enter Castle Sol and face the commander. His ghosts shockingly go down pretty easily, but he does not. Each shot burns through a good chunk of his health. I just need to avoid his stomps and his frost. I run back, letting him leap at me, taking damage as I charge the flames, which was definitely the way to go. Oh, That was easy. Second attempt. I'll take it. Up onto another lift to collect the second half of the secret medallion, putting it to good use and entering the hidden path to the Halic tree, making my way up to the concentrated snowfields till I get to Ordina, where I enter this lovely Evergall, and it's time to light some statues. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I use the portal to get to the big tree. I died way too many times here. But I finally get to the lift and head up, then down to real Loretta. And much like her spirit form, she doesn't do too well with fire. She's more jumpy and aggressive. So it does take a while, but whenever she stands still, I charge and fire. One last lunge and she's gone for good. Now I need to get down from here and step out into this area, where I jump across the ledges, then climb upon another tree, where I fight for my life in the rot waterfall. But I get to the other side and the journey goes on. Some more tree climbing and hopping into buildings to grab the Dragon Crest Great Shield, which makes me take 20% less physical damage. Taking the lift down, which takes me to another fog wall. The Queen of Rot awaits, and she did not go easy. I'm full on throwing! I'm throwing! Why did I do that? Damn. Okay, at least I didn't take... Excuse you? I have like, oh, okay, how do I dodge? Ooh. I rolled into it! What a donkey! To be fair, editing's decent. It's more so I just need to have the motivation. Oh! I'm dead. Yo! I survived, but I didn't survive the follow-up. And oh no. She's fast and relentless, making it very hard for me to find time to charge my attacks. But I finally managed to get her down to the second phase. At least while she's in her flower, she stays still, so I get to punish her for it. But when she's moving, she's a problem. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, I'm dead. How didn't I die there? Okay, I ain't gonna complain. Don't get greedy just because she's a hit away. Wise words. That got me the victory. There we go. I knew it! One more attempt and we win! Yay! So I return to the Cathedral of Manus to speak to Ymir and get the quest to get to the fingered ruins of Dio and blow into this finger. Taking a detour to the graveside plain, I hop down the hole to deal with the ancient dragon man. Lucky for me, he's very flammable. He heals, but it was still not enough. Pushing open another door, I make my way out to the foot of Jagged Peak. From there, I hop down to the hidden grave, then to the Cerulean coast, jumping down the rocks into the stone coffin fissure. Then I travel back to the Eastern Mausoleum to see if I'm finally strong enough to deal with Rashtaksa. This time, my flames are hitting her hard, and I'm able to tank her katana. She's fast, but I keep backing away, making her run at me, giving me plenty of time to charge my flames, and down she goes. Which means I get her armor. Exactly what I needed. And would you look at that? Handsome and in medium load. Now that I'm more of a tank, I head back to the stone coffin fissure and make my way past the laser caterpillars. Cannonball! With no resistance to fire, my flames do a lot of damage. All I have to do is dodge and aim. Yo, I missed! It's a game of joust, running past each other. It even sends its horse after me, then almost takes me out with one slice. But I heal. Wait for it to stop and fire one last shot. Then it's back to Cerulean Coast to blow into this finger, getting the Crimson Sea Tally, which boosts Flask HP restoration by 20%. Only one finger to go, which means I have to return to Ymir, rest, and poof, he's gone. So down we go, Anna appears and I stunlock her, ending the fight before it could even begin, blowing into the last finger, which takes me down to Mother Dearest. My flames don't do much to her, so it's a slow and steady fight. When I get close to do more damage, I get slammed on, but the trade-off is worth it, especially that nice Staggeroonie. But I run out of flasks, and she slams down on me. I roll, then fire a Hail Mary shot, sending her back to the black hole she crawled out of. There's no rest for the wicked, so it's time to return to the specimen storehouse, where I climb over statues, then up to the Fire Knight. We have the same weapon, so why does his seem to hurt more than mine? Sick moves, my guy. But can you stagger? There, now I've officially gotten the Ash of War, and his helm, which boosts the Ash of War by 10%. How did I forget about this? Let's see what waits behind this door. I walk in, not confident, but optimistic. Ended up tired and ready to do literally anything else. It's a little bit early, but I'm calling it quits here. So instead, I make my way through the storehouse, up the lift, and out to the ancient ruins of Rao to cook up another hippo, and with a stagger, he's barbecued in no time. Then I'm hiking through the woods like I'm Frodo, till I get to Romina. It takes a few attempts, and she won't go down without a fight. My flames stagger her, and she phase changes. And now, she comes fully equipped with insect attack pack, tail whips and stinger stabs, so I play it safe, holding back when she spawns her butterflies, then I fire as she crawls towards me. I get stuck on her, exterminating her as she tries to throw me off. Warping back to the Graveside Plains, I run through another bug-infested building to get to Belleroth. As I slowly make my way through the settlement, grilling some birds as we go. Guess that one can't be bothered. So I march ahead, resting at the Grace before entering to see Twinkletoes. Not bad. We trade a few blows, then it starts to spark. It's whipping around, flinging electricity like a live wire, but I'm able to take the hits and fire back. Another element change and the arena is suddenly very windy. I'm honestly just choosing to tank through all the damage. Because just tanking through it just gets me to do that. After that, I head to the Abyssal Woods and creep past some untouchables to get to Meter's Mancy. Rolling into the painting, I make my way through the maze of ghosts and bookshelves till I get to the Little Screamer. His human form is pretty easy to take out, then the real trouble starts. My flames don't do much against him, so it's a long drawn out fight. His attacks have me barely hanging on, and he punishes my greed. So for a while, I stick to dodging and running, and when he's still, I attack. My patience earned me a stagger and seals his fate. Happy with that, I returned to Mesmer, but once again, it was looking like an impossible task. I kept trying over and over again, till I finally managed to lock in his attack pattern. Since it takes a while to charge up, I stick to dodging his spear and stabbing between his attacks. It's another slow battle that relies on patience, and a missed dodge can end it all. Phase 2, and Snaky Boy comes out to play. What? Something hit me there. Not the best start, but I focused on dodging and firing off spears, and my patience finally paid off. Yes! Let's go! Ah yes, the sound of success, the breath of someone that's totally not dead inside. But at least I'm in the last stretch. So I head back to the ancient ruins to burn a tree, which takes me to Enner Limb. Then I return to the Grand Altar, crossing the bridge into Jagged Peak, going on a long trek to Big Boy Bale. Since he's huge, it's easy to get below him and lunge at him. Every time he moves away, I just chase him down to stay up close. In his second phase, he's much more aggressive and spends a lot of time in the sky. But when he's grounded, I stick to his legs and fire away. I'm gonna die. How didn't I die there? I don't know. I legitimately don't know how I didn't die there. And Zui! Come on, Bailey boy! As I'm out of all flasks, I decide to go all in, charging at him while he tries to toast me. And with a sliver of health, I fire off a final shot, and that's all it takes. Yo! Okay, No idea how I managed to get him there, but hey, we'll take it. It's time to begin my final journey, so I head back to Enerlim and run to the sandpit to face the trio. Hornshead dodges my first spear, so that bodes well, but I keep lunging at him as he runs at me, eventually taking him out right as Dane spawns in. He also dodges my first spear, but unlike Hornshead, he likes to stay far, and my flames on their own don't really hurt him, so I keep backing up for him to chase me. Then Lida spawns in. Bonus is, if they line up, I get a double hit. I don't have enough stamina to deal with you endlessly running. How much stamina do you have, my boy? Meanwhile, Lida's miles away, trailing behind. Oh, there she is. Oh, yeah, that was a nice one. Since Dane seems to be faster, I deal with him first. Now it's your turn, Lida, and she of course dodges like the others. But then I knock her down, she heals and runs at me. Yes, Lida, come at me. Not like that. Boom, down she goes. With only the final bosses to go, I level up one last time and enter the hellscape. I died quite a few times, but honestly much less than any other challenge I've done, so that's a plus. I kept trying over and over again. When I was up close, I was doing some damage, so as long as I kept dodging, it was looking good. During his second phase, his moves are more erratic, making it harder to charge my attacks. But I keep finding small windows when he pauses. He yanks me in for a hug, I'm fully locked in, dodging and lunging. I'm almost out of flasks, so it's now or never. I lunge, then back up as he stomps and slashes. Then, under Mikola's locks, I lunge one final time. And the god is slain. Then after all that, first try. It's time to face the final challenge, Radagon. And hold the damage. He's way more flammable and he stands no chance. Look at that Staggeroonie. Okay. Why am I throwing? Yo. Never mind. We're good. He's slightly more fire resistant it seems, so I take my time, crisping him up bit by bit. Come on. Can I get a stagger? I'm curious. Oh, Elden Stars. Oh, I got a stagger. But I also got Elden Stars. That is unfortunate. Guess that answers that. Buddy, please just stay still. Finally, he stops running, and I charge in. And oh. And just like that, the challenge comes to an end, with me being crowned as the new Elden Lord. And that's the end of the Flame Spear run. It started off strong, right up until the fire resistance bosses started rolling in. Still, I had a really good time with it. Definitely one of the more fun builds I've tried. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comment section down below. You can catch me live on Twitch, link in the description, and I'll see you all in the next one. Doodles. YouTube's recommending this video now, so give that a click. And hit here to subscribe so you don't miss out on future uploads.